everybody, I'm AJ, this is Diana as usual, and thank you for joining us again for the Mentor Mondays live stream here at Pivot RTE.
Quick shout out to all of our mentees who submitted questions last live stream. Thank you so much, especially to Isaac. We couldn't answer your question, we saw it too late, and we're really, really sorry.
Yeah, please remember guys, we're doing this live, so if we do miss something, we're going to try and catch it as quickly as possible, but if not, we're definitely going to make sure to shout you out at the next one.
Definitely. So please start sending your questions in if you have anything. This video, we're going to be talking about study strategies.
Sorry, I have a paper and I can't see, so that's my, okay. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start off by talking about studying environments. Everyone, see, I can see my reflection in the glasses. It bothers me. Yeah. Oh, you have your glasses on too. Anyway, so we're going to talk about studying environments. You know, you're camped out on bed, you have all of your notebooks and everything, but you're also in your bed. So you end up falling asleep. It happens. It happens to the best of us.
Or you're on your laptop and 1 minute you're reading an article about, I don't know, neurology, and then the next you're on Netflix.
Yeah, it's definitely easy to get distracted by your environment, whether you're studying in your room or in your home, or if you're studying in public. Sometimes that doesn't work for everybody. You either get too distracted by other people or too distracted by the things around your room. So you definitely want to be picking carefully where you're camping out to do those study sessions.
I know for me, I have to be on campus because if I'm at home, I'm either in front of the fridge or in front of the TV. So if I'm on campus, that takes off some of the distractions around in my environment.
Yeah, it's definitely important to start paying attention to this right now because what's coming up in about another month, Diana?
Midterms.
Midterms, and if you haven't had your first exam yet, you're probably going to be having that in the next coming of weeks.
Or some classes just have a midterm and a final, so you need to do really well in those.
Yeah, so definitely you want to be studying effectively and you don't want to get distracted by your environment. So let's talk about those different places that you can study. Do you like studying on campus?
I love studying on campus. The library, especially with their study rooms, I'm a huge whiteboard fan.
Oh, yeah.
So the study rooms have whiteboards up and down the walls, and you can just write all over it. I saw one person who was kind of like in the Beautiful Minds, where they're like writing all over the wall. It was beautiful.
It really is. I like to see, not being weird, like looking in other people's study rooms, but when you're walking by and you can see, especially in the JPL, the ones against the wall that have the windows, and you can see other people being productive, it kind of like inspires you to actually get some stuff done. So definitely studying in the library. I do like that too. If I'm not in a study room, I'm usually at the quiet spot. If I'm on the second or third floor, I always go to the quiet spot because then it's that same thing. It's like seeing other people study makes me really want to get, you know, what I need to get done accomplished. Another place on campus that I really like to study, and I don't know, some people might disagree with me, but the JPL Starbucks on the first floor.
Oh, I don't know. Because I feel like the cafeteria is really noisy for me. I can do the Starbucks in UC.
Yeah,
that's a little bit more quiet.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. Like, I never thought that it would work for me. Like, I never would have, like, hadn't have been, like, what happened was that there were no tables in the quiet study. Let me explain. There were no tables in the quiet study, no study rooms available that I could just, like, go hang out and study. So almost as like a last resort, I went to the JPL Starbucks, and there was something about it, something about the background noise, you know, hearing, you know.
Ambiance.
Yeah, it was like the ambiance, hearing other people like talking, hearing, you know, the ongoings of Starbucks, having people walking by. I don't know.
The aroma of coffee.
The aroma of coffee, having that easy access to go get my 2 or 3 cups a day that I usually have. It's an unhealthy habit. But there was just something about that environment that really clicked with me, and now a lot of times, like, I will go directly there to get my studying done. So never, like, discount something just because you think it's not going to work. Like, at least try it once. And if you know it's not working, go ahead. You don't have to do it, but it never hurts to try something new, because then I ended up finding, like, my favorite study spot.
Definitely always try something new. You never know what's going to help you, especially for those of you who are just transferring from high school. Maybe you used to always go to your room, study for high school, and that was enough. Maybe now you need like study groups or something like that. I mean, personally, I never liked study groups until last semester when a friend kind of dragged me to a study group. And after that, that's the only way I can study or like be most productive is with study groups.
Yeah, and again, this is totally specific to not only your studying style, but also to your major. You're talking about studying in groups, and
Yeah.
you're an
Engineering.
engineering major. So I'm an English major, and a lot of the studying is just sitting down and reading a short story. So
Yeah, like
I don't know how that
engineering-
would work in study groups, like having someone read to you. I wouldn't like that. So it just really depends on your major and what kind of learner you are, what kind of studying works best for you, and also the environment. You know, if you're in quiet study, you don't want to have a group session there.
I know for a fact, like for engineering, they're always like pushing you to do try new methods of solving problems. So a study group definitely helps with that because everybody tackles the problem a little bit different.
Another area that we don't want to leave out is in the JPL. If you're in the Commons area, that's somewhere where you can have that group discussion, but also get that ambiance of other people talking. And don't forget about the University Center. There's the ski lounge, the food court. Another weird thing, I like to get some work done at the Roost, which is another weird,
I can't.
It's another weird place, but I don't know. It's something about the ambiance, like hearing people talking, hearing that background.
Too loud.
Really?
For me, yeah.
I guess
it's way too loud to
I don't
concentrate.
know. Sometimes it can be too quiet, and I can't concentrate.
Oh.
So again, it's just completely subjective about what each person wants to do.
I definitely when fall hits around like November and it's nice and cool outside, I definitely love studying in Sombria outside.
Oh yeah,
Just
once the weather picks up, or actually
drops down
is what I'm trying to say. What I mean is when it picks up, so that you can actually enjoy yourself. Yeah, I totally love studying outside. Yeah, I totally love studying outside whenever. There it is. So many things going on today. Yeah, studying outside, I definitely like it. Not
Do
right
not
now.
Have distractions.
Yeah, speaking of distracting environments. But if you are outside, pay attention, obviously, to the weather. If it's really, really humid, your papers might get messed up. If it starts raining, we've had like really weird weather where it's like on and off, like it's raining. No, it's not. No, but it's really humid.
But another place I really enjoy studying is up on the 4th floor of JPL. There's like
that commons area, right?
From like a quiet zone to a commons.
Yeah.
And so now you have like computing in one section and just studying in the next. And they added a lot of outlets, so you can just plug in your app.
Thank goodness. They did the same thing in the UC around the railing. They just put in a whole bunch of outlets there, so thank goodness. But let's say you're tired of being on campus, you're here all day because you work here, you have class here, you want a change of scenery.
So some places that are really nice, I personally like going to local not Starbucks, coffee shops. Mm-hmm. My favorite is Aspen's Brew, which is on Huebner. Have you been there?
No, I haven't been there.
Oh, it's really nice. It's small and quaint, and the owners actually have dogs. So it's like study break.
Oh my god, they have the dogs there?
Yes, all the time. And they're outside. They have this huge pillow, and if it's like too cold, they'll have them inside. And it's nice and toasty, and you smell the coffee. It's great.
This is a good day. This is like
2 golden retrievers, huge little dogs. They're adorable.
Oh my god,
little dogs.
I don't know if I would actually get that much studying done there, though.
They come and go, though, because the owners don't stay there all day. So sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not.
That's fair.
And I definitely need coffee. So.
Definitely need coffee. One place that we've recently tried out that I ended up really liking was Local Coffee, and I know that they have 2 locations. One of them is at the medical center.
Oh, I've been there.
By Data Point or something, right? I haven't. There's 3 locations. What a day. There's 3 locations, apparently. I know about the one at Medical Center, and the one that we went to, it's closer to the downtown area by the Pearl Brewery area.
Oh, yeah.
It's right over by, like, the Hotel Emma and Stone Oak is the 3rd one. This just in. No. This just in. The 3rd location is at Stone Oak. Again, I haven't been to that one, so I can only speak for the one downtown by the brewery. It doesn't sound like a real word.
Yeah, it does.
But that one was really nice. Again, I'm an atmosphere person, very big on atmosphere, so hearing other people's conversations, but also seeing a lot of people were there studying, believe it or not, or they were working. So again, seeing that productivity really like encourages me to be productive, and I'm like, everyone's like working on something, I should be too, like not just sitting here. And also the coffee was really good, so it's another important thing to consider. Like if you are going to a coffee shop, like make sure you actually like
what they're
serving and that it's not overpriced.
So you don't have to leave to get something and then come back.
Yeah, Local Coffee. What did I get? It was like a latte. a caramel latte, and it was a huge cup, like this big.
Yeah.
Can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the camera? Again, where's the camera?
They're huge mugs.
Yeah, it was a huge mug. It was like a soup bowl of coffee. It was excited. I'm excited. And the price wasn't too bad. I think it was maybe like $4 on its own, and then I left a tip, so that's pretty good for as much coffee as you're getting. It lasted me for quite a while, and I was there for a few hours. I want to say like maybe 3 or 4 hours. Me and 2 other of the mentors here, we were checking it out, trying to see what study spaces work, and that definitely worked. At least for us it did.
Another place is the San Antonio Public Libraries. They're always open for students to come in and just study, get the ambiance.
I was like, I have my card, but I don't. I
have it on. I have the little keychain one.
You have the keychain
Yeah.
one? You don't need the card to like go to the
No,
library.
not
That's
at
to
all.
like check out materials, reserve. You can reserve rooms there, can't you? Like reading rooms, I think they're called.
Maybe.
I think you
Haven't been
can.
there in a long
I haven't
time.
been in a while
Yeah.
either because I mostly use this library. But there is also that avenue. They have the library downtown. I believe they have one somewhere in this area.
Yeah, there's one on Vance Jackson. Sorry,
Yeah, I
past
was like,
Huebner.
whoa. Yeah, so there are these places depending on how far you want to travel. You know, if you feel like going downtown, there's also downtown campus. Speaking of which, that you can also study at. They have a library, they have a Starbucks, and it's usually, from my experience, a little quieter, a little less crowded at downtown
Less people
campus.
walking around.
Yeah, but
Not
you
as
still
many.
have the UTSA resources available to you. There's tutoring services, I believe, down there. The library's down there, so if you need just a different environment that's still a UTSA theme, you can just go to UTSA downtown campus.
Speaking of tutoring services, do you know all of the services offered here on campus, main campus?
I know a good majority of them,
So there's the Q Lab, which kind of is general.
which is the
In the
second
library.
floor of the JPL.
And they generalize from anything from OChem to general chemistry to physics. I think they even have a statics in there right now.
Do they now?
Maybe.
I didn't know.
I know they
had
have
statics.
statistics. And then they have all of the physics, Cal up to, I think, Cal 1. They have a separate section in the same location area for just math tutoring, the MAP services.
Oh, yeah.
That goes, I think, all the way up to Cal 2.
And that's different from the math lab.
Yeah,
in
the
Flan
math
building.
lab in the Flan building is tutors who are majoring in math, and I think they can go all the way up to like differential equations, linear algebra, the more advanced math classes. There's in the engineering building, they just opened the engineering tutoring services where they do EA1, statics and dynamics for sure. They can kind of help with EA2. They're more concentrated on engineering classes.
Yeah, and if you do go to tutoring and you find that you might need just a little bit more help, there are other resources available. You can make your own group study sessions with people in your class, getting in contact with them. Maybe
Going to office hours.
Professors
Professors love when you go to office hours.
They really do. They honestly
They
like
appreciate it.
sit there and wait for somebody to come talk to them. So be that person that goes to go talk to them.
They will remember you, and they love putting a face with a name.
Definitely. SI sessions. If your class has an SI
Leader.
if your class has an SI leader, they probably introduce themselves on the first day, and they may periodically send emails or make announcements in class. It really depends on the class, the professor, and the leader, like how they're relaying this information to you. But most SI leaders typically do 3 sessions a week, and it's just a group study session. That SI leader is someone who has taken that class before and done well in it. Same thing with the tutors at tutoring services. Those are
Yes.
students who have taken that class before
You
and
can't
done
tutor
well.
in something that you haven't taken. That's their policy.
Obviously.
And SI, she is an SI leader.
I am
and
an SI leader.
Speaking from experience, she does appreciate it when people come to the SI sessions.
Yes.
She's come so many times in the office, and she's like, man, I just wish they came. Do not just go for the quiz or for the test. Go multiple times. It really does help.
It really does help.
They take time out of their own schedule to help you guys out, so.
Aww. Yeah, all the SI leaders out there, shout out to them. We really appreciate it when students
Going
come
above
to
and
the
above,
sessions.
beyond. Above and beyond.
Above and beyond. So speaking of studying, what have we talked about? We've talked about where you're going to study, what resources are available on campus for you to study. So now we're going to take a little time to talk about the strategies
How
that
to
you
study.
can do. How to study. How to study.
How to study.
I was like, what are we talking about now?
So I guess the first thing is maybe the very first step in studying is your notes. These are my engineering analysis, and as you can see, I love color coding them. Here they go. And basically, that is your very first step. First step is actually reading the material. Then you get it reinforced as notes in the class, so definitely attend all of the lectures. But then, once that's all over, you have about like a week or so, the test is coming up. What do you do to prepare?
What do I do to prepare? Well, something that I do, it's a little different maybe than your note-taking strategy. So one professor, he tends to talk really fast, and I feel like when I do take notes in class, they're generally more free-form, more disorganized. So I started writing them on like loose-leaf paper. You can see like how messy it all is. It's just writing like written everywhere.
That's my physics professor.
Yeah, they talk really fast, and you're just trying to get that information down, whether you're copying down things that they're saying, something that's shown on the PowerPoint, something that they throw up and write on the board really quickly. So what I do is I take that initial note sheet and then I go back and review it, and I rewrite it, and I write it much neater and color code it and everything, and make notes depending on what I noticed when I was looking over that again. And I find that that's really helpful because that's your first interaction should be when you're reading it, and if you take notes, that's another interaction. Then you hear the information covered in the lecture, you review your notes, you rewrite your notes, and then you read those notes. And I find that writing my notes again, it helps me kind of pare down the information because I've just had so many interactions with that text already. I can see what information is important and what I know that I'm going to need help on. So that way when it is time to study, I can easily just boom, 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 go to those subheadings that I wrote and study exactly the parts that I need to. You don't want to study information that you're confident in.
So I have a little bit of a different one. All of my professors put their notes online. So what I do, yeah, I love it. What I do is I write anything they write on the board. I make sure that I have it down because that's not going to be online. Anything they say in class. And I usually, sometimes it's PowerPoint. So what I do is I'll write the title of the slide we're on, then everything that he covers in class. And then later on I go back, rewrite it nicer, and include what's written in the PowerPoint.
Okay, yeah. A lot of my professors don't post notes online just because of the fact that our classes tend to be, especially in liberal arts classes, your classes are typically more discussion-based, and it's what you're giving to the conversation, what other students are giving to the conversation, and combining all that. So just for that case, there typically aren't notes provided online by the professor, so it's more of like a
and
on you kind of thing.
Definitely pay attention to questions asked in class because sometimes these students ask questions that will benefit you as well.
And, of course, with questions, we are taking your questions. So Samantha, hi Samantha, has asked us, are there any off-campus resources you recommend for us?
My first idea is YouTube. I've used YouTube so much. Yeah. I rely on it. If I don't understand something that's covered in class, I'll definitely be on YouTube the next day and just start trying to find Khan Academy. There's a crash course.
Yeah, make sure that when you are looking at these videos, sometimes you have to pay for them. Never do that. Never do that. I'm pretty sure you can find that exact video
Khan Academy
or somebody
is free,
covering the same information on YouTube for free.
Definitely. So Khan Academy is free. The professors are free.
Professors are free. Well, you can always go talk to your professors, like we said, during their office hour. Ask for a little more clarification, maybe if there was something in class you didn't understand, or if you did go to tutoring and you're just still not grasping that concept, go to your professor because they might be able to offer another explanation for you. One of my favorite things in the world to use is Quizlet.
Oh, yeah.
Thank goodness that Quizlet is out there.
Especially for people who have already done this class and they start putting their notes online, that always comes in.
Yeah, there's been instances where I was, it was a politics class that I took here that I was studying for, and I was just completely, overwhelmed because I wasn't sure what I needed to study. So just on a whim, I was like, let me just, look for vocab or whatever, vocab list or whatever. And Quizlet ended up bringing up, a stack of cards, essentially, that someone had made for that exact chapter of vocab that I was looking for. And I was like, thank you, whoever you are that made this. It came in handy. A lot of times you can search Quizlet specifically by what course you're taking, and it is people who have taken that course and were kind enough to upload their notes for the benefit of the people.
And as an engineering major, I know like this semester I have a lot of hands-on activity classes where I'm building circuits and stuff like this. And at the beginning, I had no idea anything about circuits, so I went to Half Price Books and actually got like circuits for dummies.
Yeah.
Do not be afraid.
Whatever manual it takes to get that information into your head, use it. Like, never be ashamed of any studying tactic.
It's be ashamed if you don't use it and you end up failing the class.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you pass, if you get an A, that's basically what you're out here to do. So don't be ashamed of how you get that A.
Yeah, something
Unless
that I use as again, like going back as an English major, we do read a lot of text or whatever. Spark Notes is out there.
Oh, definitely.
It does not replace, let me emphasize that, it does not replace actually reading the text. But if you are reviewing, say you have multiple texts that a test is over or you need to write an essay over, it does help because they have those key points, those key themes that you're supposed to be getting out of it, summaries of who the characters are. It's just a really helpful review technique.
As an engineering major, I always had trouble of like, what is the author metaphorically saying? So I would use Spark Notes after I read the book
is helpful
to see what did other people get out of, and can I get to that same conclusion.
Yeah.
Do not use it to replace reading the book or the material.
In addition to those manuals that are like for dummies or whatever, there's also Princeton reviews that you can be using. I'm sure there's more. I just can't remember the names of any.
If there's a lot of college classes that are offered as pre-AP courses, so there's definitely AP study guides for those.
You can definitely use those.
Use those. They'll give you some insight that's not necessarily known to the textbooks and stuff like that.
Yeah, and if you're finding that you're having trouble maybe with a paper, maybe getting your ideas onto the page, they won't write your essay for you, but they'll definitely guide you in the right direction, is the Writing Center. And you can make appointments for that online.
And basically, let's say you don't even know where to begin with your essay. You can go in there and like say, hey, look, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to write about. They'll sit down and they'll talk it out with you. And they'll help you get to that point where you can be self-sufficient.
And again, I can't stress this enough. Like, all of these studying techniques that we're giving you, it doesn't replace going to class. Like,
No.
You can't just read Spark Notes and be like, oh, I'm an expert on this.
Or just look over the notes that were covered in class and
the notes that they posted online. Like, it's not going to cut it. Your professor is giving so much more in class lectures that you just need to be there to hear.
Professors provide insight from their experience as well that you don't get from a PowerPoint or something like that. I had a professor, I loved him to death. He would straight up go on tangents all the time, talking about
the best, though.
all of his like experiences. He had like 40 years in the Army and how he reused the engineering principles we're learning in class. And that's what's really important, because then you're not just learning the material to take the test. You're learning it because you know you're going to use it in the future.
Yeah,
that's
definitely. Also, for lack of a better word, it makes it more fun. I mean, if you're just sitting there, like, staring at a laptop screen or staring at a book for hours on end, that gets boring. Like, it's nice to have that human interaction of being actually in a classroom.
And talking about fun, one of my professors explained a parallel and in series with his cats and took pictures of his cats. And he was like, this is my cats in series, this is my cats in parallel. And I promise you, that helped me on the final, because I could not remember which one was parallel, which one was series, and I just drew out the cats.
Yeah, sometimes professors, they know what they're doing. This is their job. They'll give you something, and it's going to sound completely ridiculous, but it's so ridiculous that you end up remembering it, and it ends up helping you recall that information when you are taking the test. Let's see. So, talk to your professors, study the material. There's also different techniques while you're doing that you can do. We mentioned Quizlet already. Make your own flashcards.
Yes. Yeah. Physically, I read so much research on writing the material down. Even just writing it down, not reading over it, makes it stick more. Like 75% of it sticks writing it down.
Yeah, I've heard that too, that the process of actually making the flashcards, like getting a term or concept and then condensing that information into something that fits on a flashcard, I hear that you actually learn more from that process than you do just by like trying to memorize all the information.
And when you're making these flashcards, like she said, do not go verbatim. It helps you with remembering it if you take from the textbook, the definition, and then you put it in your own words, because now you're going through the process of actually thinking about what you're writing.
Yeah, I don't personally do this, but I know maybe it doesn't necessarily apply to my discipline, but colored charts is something that you can do if, I don't know, do you use that in engineering?
I do. I use it just when I have so much to memorize, and it's like if this applies to this, then you can go on. And it gets a little bit complicated, but if that's how you visually see it in a chart, then go for it. Whatever works for you.
Yeah, I personally really like to use concept maps because a lot of the classes that I do take are concept based. So it helps to kind of see that relationship between different aspects of the course that we're talking about and seeing it as a way to organize that information. So that way it's like a mental picture for me. That way I can recall it that way better than I can if I'm like trying to memorize a sheet of notes. It's easier for me to remember a picture than it is to remember like an entire paragraph of information.
Yeah, I'm a very visual learner, so if I write it down.
If you didn't tell from our color-coded notes we just showed y'all.
Yeah, no, I promise, like sometimes if I look at my notes and write them enough times, I can sit on the test and I'll see my notes and see the answer from the notes.
I'll see like a word that I know was like underlined a certain color because that color made it stand out in my memory.
And if you're an auditive learner, you need to hear it, record yourself and play it back for you to like be able to remember it easier.
And of course, with your professor's permission, record their lectures if they allow you. But of course, ask for their permission first.
I have a professor who actually records his lectures.
He records
and he posts
himself?
them, yeah.
How
it's adorable.
Nice. I had a professor who had to go, I guess, like out of town for some sort of academic trip. And he, instead of taking the day off, he like recorded his lectures and put them on YouTube. He's like, hey, watch me. And I'm like, this is really neat. Like, that was great.
Yep.
Again, this is all depending on your degree and your major, what kind of classes you're taking.
Maybe like a history class would be
Maybe like history classes would use timelines. Really, anyone can use outlines for their notes, which is kind of what I mentioned subheadings earlier. If you're taking notes, go with like topic, subtopic, bullet points. Just different ways of organizing that information so you can see it. Diagrams, if you're in a really like math heavy kind of class, practice problems, obviously.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you're like engineering analysis out there,
let you take that one.
Practice problems are what you need to pass that class, to get an A in that class. Like, trust me, if you just work the problems out, I know my mom, she went to school in a different country, but they would do hundreds of practice problems and hundreds, yeah.
I guess whatever it takes.
And that's how they would get it stuck in their head. So math classes, engineering classes that are math heavy, definitely try practice problems, because that will definitely help you.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. Liberal arts, we don't really have like so many like problems where there's like one right answer. It's more of like an interpretive thing. So that just goes to show, like, I've never had to do practice problems studying for my liberal arts classes.
All of my classes practice
but
problems.
But for STEM.
Yeah.
Statics and dynamics. The beautiful range of academics here and what works and what doesn't. It's entirely subjective and personal.
And again, don't be afraid to try new things. This is how you find what you're good at. And we cannot stress this enough. If it's not working, do not stick to it. Don't say, oh, it'll end up working out.
Yeah, don't think because something worked for someone. Like, if someone said, like, we've been saying, like, oh, well, I've done this. Like, what works for us might not work for you. Like, go ahead and try it, but don't think just because, oh, it worked for them, it's going to work for me. Not the case.
Yeah, drop it. If it's not working, drop it and go move on to something new.
What works for us might not work for you. Like, go ahead and try it, but don't think just...
Sorry.
Cool. That was cool. Okay. Let me see. What else? Group study. We've talked about that before. Again, if it works for you, go for it. Personally, I'm more of like a one-man show.
But see, then again, it's based off of the different types of subjects you're learning.
Yeah,
reading is kind of hard to just have like, hey, let's sit down and all read a paragraph.
Yeah, for English majors hate popcorn reading, where it's like everybody read one paragraph at a time. Like, so that kind of, I don't know. It depends. It really depends on what you're going to be doing as a group, what kind of information you're studying, and for what you're studying for. Are you studying for a quiz? Is it a test? Is it just an assignment that you have to do that you're not understanding? So
that's another thing. Study groups, me and my best friend, we cannot study together. We will get off topic. We'll start talking about gossip. We'll do everything but study. The only time I can study with a group is if we're in the same class studying the same material. So, again, that comes in what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Yeah. Don't stick to something that doesn't work.
And that's not to say that you can't, like, enjoy yourself while you're studying. Like, go take the study group to Starbucks. Like, have some coffee. Eat while you're there or whatever. Just make sure that you're comfortable, that you're not going to get entirely too bored. Because that's the opposite. You can be too comfortable, but you can also be too uncomfortable.
Yeah.
The room is cold. If I'm hungry, if I'm tired.
Oh, I need the room cold so I can stay awake.
Oh no!
If
I'm cold, like all I do is complain. Like I'm cold, I'm tired, I don't want to be here anymore.
That's what I mean.
Who
If
has
me
a
and
jacket?
my best friend
Give it to
are
me.
studying, we could be studying for 3 hours and really only get 30 minutes of work done.
Wow.
The other study group who's in my class, we can be studying for 3 hours and get 2.5 hours work of done.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, have that. Granted, don't work like be a workaholic. Take some you time, but definitely find out what works for you. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to pass your classes. You're trying to get A's. You're not trying to be like social butterflies.
Yeah, and this isn't necessarily something that's like a one-time thing that you can do. If you're going to have a studying routine, make it a routine. Keep up with it. Make it a habit that, every day I'm going to do this much studying, or I'm going to study this way, and then tomorrow I'm going to try this. Like, make a routine. If you keep a planner, schedule that time into your planner so you're not forgetting it. If you have a mirror, everybody has a mirror. Write a sticky note.
Don't.
You don't have...
I broke it over the weekend, moving my furniture around.
You ruined what I was going to say. I can't say it now.
I mean, I have a wall of sticky notes.
Yeah, if you
notes.
have a wall, or just anywhere in general, put a sticky note on there, somewhere that you're going to see it every day. On the coffee pot, on the fridge, on your bedroom
steering
door.
Wheel?
Your bedroom, maybe not your steering wheel.
Okay, no. I have it like on my steering wheel so I can see it when, like, if it's something important, I'll stick it there that night, and then I'll come back in and I'll be like, oh, that's right, and I'll take it off. It's like daily reminders. I'm not driving with it on my steering wheel.
Don't read and drive. Don't do it.
Don't text and drive. Don't do anything and drive.
We don't endorse distracted driving. But definitely, if it's somewhere that you're going to see it every day, make a note. You're going to see it. You're going to remember it. One more thing. Peer accountability is something that we were supposed to talk about. We're kind of running low on time here.
Oh, yeah.
Peer accountability, something I like to do is I like to tell friends, like, hey, by Wednesday I'm having my essay written. And then on Wednesday they check back in, and if I don't have that essay written, I'm embarrassed.
See, that's another thing. The study groups help because they do that. Like, I had a study group where they started asking, they would do the homework like 3 and 4 days ahead of it being due. And I was like, well, I still have 4 hours left. Like, why do I have to do it now? And so I kind of got embarrassed. At one point, they kept asking me, hey, did you do the homework? Did you do the homework? And I was like, oh, no.
It's okay to have someone kind of hold you to a standard that you set for yourself.
Yeah, definitely. If it has to be a little sibling, your parents, kind of like rip yourself from your parents if you do that.
Well, no, your parents want to know how your day is going. Like,
definitely,
tell them, like, when you call them, tell them, like, hey, next time you call me, ask me how my project went. And make your parents proud.
Yeah.
Or make your siblings proud. Or
definitely.
Your old soccer coach. Whoever it is that you need to keep you, whoever you need to keep you accountable.
She'd be like, Dana, why are you calling me?
We haven't talked in 3 years now.
And now you want me to remind you about this essay?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Just whatever works. Oh, we have a question.
Oh.
Okay. They're writing it, so we're like trying to read it.
There's some bad news about this shirt.
Oh.
They took it out of.
No,
they don't have
I really
it anymore.
like
I was
that
one of the
shirt.
last people who got it because they're like, we're
Are
trying
they
to get
making
rid
new
of
anthropology
I
shirts?
don't know. They were talking about how this was the last batch and they made a new. So Sarah, thank you for your question. She asks, where can I get a cool UTSA shirt like the anthro shirt Diana is wearing?
Every time she wears this, I get mad because, like, I'm an anthropology minor. I should have one of those.
I only bought it because it's super cool and I love it.
They better make more. Yeah, if you're looking for gear, UTSA gear.
All of the clubs have their own gear. This was from the Anthropology Society. They're the ones who bought it. I have a business shirt. I have an engineering shirt. I have all of the societies basically have their own shirts. If you're part of it, you can buy it. If you just really like it, they might be fundraising. Don't be afraid to ask. I went through like 5 people before I got to the person who was selling them. I went to the. I was determined. I was like,
you gotta know who to know.
Yeah.
If you're like me and you don't know who to know.
You ask people. Ask just random people. Be like, hey, do you know anything about Anthro Society?
I don't know. I can't say anything.
I mean, I went to the anthropology department. And I was like, hey, to the secretary. I was like, hey, so I saw these really cool shirts, and I want one.
This is really funny. I just usually go to the bookstore if I want a shirt.
Yeah.
Or
H-E-B, Walmart.
My best friend, H-E-B. I go there like every week,
is
honestly.
Doing UTSA.
Pink?
Pink does UTSA gear.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, they have it at Target.
Target.
It's San Antonio, honestly. I'm pretty sure you can find University of Texas at San Antonio gear.
Oh, yeah.
Anywhere.
What is it? The HEB on Days of Allah just opened an entire section dedicated to UTSA gear.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna call it now.
All right.
We're gonna go ahead with the announcements. So this week, RTE is having a mentee mixer. Woo! So all our mentees out there watching, please come. It's gonna be tomorrow, Tuesday, at 2:00 in the Mesquite Room in the UC building over there. We're gonna have snacks. We're gonna play games. Just gonna have the whole group all together. A family.
The next UTSA football game is this Saturday at 2:45 p.m. at the Alamo Dome. There are options for you to leave your car here at UTSA and take a bus to.
There's shuttles that will take students down to the Alamo Dome. If not, I think parking's like $10.
10, 15?
About there. You know what event parking typically runs at. And as a student, you do get into the game free, but make sure that you have your ID card with you. Otherwise, that's not going to happen. You can also order tickets if you want to take maybe some family or friends who don't come to UTSA.
It's down but in the UC, right? Next to this tech store. That's the store that gives the tickets.
I'm not sure. I've never bought tickets through a store on campus, but you can get them online.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure if you just Google that, the information should come up.
There's a STEM fair Tuesday, September 20th from 1:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Definitely keep an eye out if you're a STEM major. And
there is also an...
All majors.
All majors fair. Is it a fair? Yeah. Okay, there's an all majors fair. I thought it said Almadors. I was like, what is that? That J looks like a D. There is an all majors fair Wednesday, September 21st at 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Do we know where?
All over campus, I think.
All over campus?
No, maybe HEB Ballroom. That's where usually they have the fairs. Or convocation? Sometimes they've had fairs in the convocation. Keep an eye out for that.
You should be able to get information. There will probably be an email that goes around, maybe flyers posted somewhere.
Follow us on Instagram or Twitter or Snapchat. We will definitely be posting information about that.
Okay, for the fairs, this just in. I need to stop doing that. For the fairs, you have to register on Handshake through the Career Center, I believe. Handshake. Isn't that through the Career Center?
It's the new Rowdy Jobs. It is your connection to a job on campus. All of these fairs, it's held by the Career Center. If you sign up for these fairs, you get a spot to go to them.
We got some. They're going to be happening in the HUC ballroom. Yeah, confirm. Confirm. But definitely, you do have to register for them. So if you go through Handshake, you should be able to get all the information about locations, times. Sometimes these do have dress codes that I want to point out. Some of them will require professional dress. Some of them will require that you bring a resume. Some of them are for people that are genuinely looking for jobs, and others are for people who are just kind of trying to get a feel for what's available.
And they have jobs, careers, they have internships, all sorts of things. So it's definitely good to go check them out.
Yeah, so if you're just getting a scope for it, that's fine. If you're out there looking for a job, good luck, guys. We're rooting for you.
But even if you're just getting just an idea, remember that first impressions last. So at least try to dress nice. Not necessarily bring a resume because you're not really applying, but dress nice because they will remember you.
Yeah. All right, in that case, we're going to go ahead and announce that the next live stream is going to be September 26th, 2016 at 6:30 p.m. So we're going to be addressing self-care routines, mental and emotional and spiritual health. Since we're getting close to midterms, you're going to stress out. It happens. But it doesn't have to be...
It doesn't have to be a train wreck.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a train wreck. If you manage it and you start managing it right away...
And then we'll cover some more midterm preparations as we get closer to it.
I wish y'all could see what happens behind the scenes here at the Pivot office.
We should do that one time.
Oh no! Oh no! It takes a lot of work to put these live streams together, guys. But we appreciate all the viewers. We hope you enjoy it. Definitely. We have a blast doing this.
We love it. It's our jobs. Can't complain.
Yeah, I enjoy myself. So.
Same.
In that case, viewers. What?
It's a convocation.
Which one?
This just in.
This just in. Something is happening in the convocation center. The fair.
Those fairs are in the
STEM
convocation
fair.
center.
the STEM fair and the All Majors fair will be
Just
happening in
follow us
convocation.
on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. They're in the link in the description below. And and
You
we
didn't
will
do
definitely.
it.
I did.
Oh,
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and we will definitely keep you up to date on these events.
yeah. There's a lot going on campus.
Get involved.
Get involved.
Aside from that, I'm Diana,
I'm AJ.
and thank you for joining us. Till next time.
Yeah.